Hey, good morning. Welcome to Hobby Evolution, episode 1457. It is Monday, episode 1457. It is Madison Card Show week. 2 shows this coming weekend for the month of April at the Sheraton Hotel on John Nolen Drive. We've got the regular Madison Card Show on Saturday. A few more tables than usual. Doing a little rearranging for Saturday's show. It'll be on the first floor in the State Street Ballroom and in the Badger Stateroom. So a couple rooms that are not the norm. So State Street Ballroom, that's the room we've used in the past as the third ballroom. And the Badger Stateroom was used for the TCG only room last summer. So those are the 2 rooms that'll be utilized on the first floor. The Williamson Ballroom that is normally used for the Madison Card Show will be a different event this month. And upstairs, of course, no change. You've got the mezzanine and the Capitol Square Ballroom. On Sunday is the Madison Pokemon Show, the first ever Madison Pokemon Show. We've got 140 dealer tables of TCG set for Sunday, and that will be back in the Williamson Ballroom on the first floor, upstairs, Capitol Square Ballroom, and in the mezzanine. So the Sunday Pokemon Show will have the same layout as the normal Madison Card Shows have, Williamson and Capitol Square Ballroom. So that's this coming Saturday and Sunday at the Sheraton Hotel on John Nolen Drive. The Madison Card Show Saturday, Madison Pokemon Show on Sunday. And hopefully by Wednesday, really need to get things locked up so I can make some announcements this week. And on Saturday, should have some future information on upcoming Madison Card Shows. So stay tuned for that. Happy Monday. Gray outside. It's warmer though. It's warmer. Ernie kept us up. We knew he would. He was apparently he was being. I was working all day yesterday down here and into the night. My wife had a rare weekend off. I think she had a couple appointments over the weekend, but usually she's pretty crazed with appointments and showings. So she was upstairs, and Ernie apparently was very rambunctious throughout the day, which usually is the case on Sunday. Sundays are his witching hour, his witching day. And so we were at dinner. We were having dinner last night before last night's eBay live stream. And he's like pawing on her and like just ignores me. And I'm like, she's like, we've been all day together. We've spent all day together. Bother your dad. And I'm like, he doesn't. Apparently he wants to bother you because I'm right here. He can bother me. I'm surprisingly, I'm more, I don't know if my wife would agree with this, but I think I'm the more patient one of the couple. So he was a terror at bedtime. He struggles at bedtime. And he finally settled down, and then woke up at 2, and I took him out. He peed right away. Get back into bed, and he's like a terror again. I'm like, oh, I just took you out. So I like put him on the floor. It's like, go do what, if you're thirsty, go out, get your water. If you're hungry, there's food in your bowl. If you just want to go chew on your bone or just fuck around, just go do it. And he went to the door and rang the bell. So he's bell trained. So that's good. It's like, okay, he's ringing the bell. He has to poop now. We can't do them in one. We can't poop and pee in the same outing. We have to make 2 separate trips. So I get up, put my pants on, go out. And he did poop. I will credit Ernie. He did poop and pee at 2 a.m. as soon as he went out. So he went out, he peed. First time, took him out again. He pooped right away. And then he did settle down, and he slept through the night. So, but I'm still a little tired just from going to bed a little later than usual, getting up at 2 a.m. So back to doggy daycare. Tip you off to play with puppies today. And it was a little worse this weekend because I texted the neighbor if Rookie could come out and play on Saturday afternoon. Rookie had an accident, not like a pooping accident, but he was jumping out of the car. Now the car was that was my first. I don't know if anybody thought that, like, oh my God, he jumped out of the car. My first thought was like he jumped out the window of a moving car. No, so he was getting out of the car, like in the garage, and I think one of his legs got caught in the seatbelt. I don't know why he was wearing a. He might not have been wearing it. Anyway, his leg got caught up in the seatbelt, and he sprained a muscle in his leg. So nothing was broke, so that's good. Rookie has a sprained muscle in his leg, so he can't play. So Ernie and Rookie didn't get to play this weekend. So hopefully Rookie gets on the mend and can be back in the yard playing soon. On a sad note, my aunt passed away yesterday. She'd been in the hospital for a few weeks. She was in declining health. My wife saw it on Facebook. I didn't see. So it was technically, I guess I have to explain my family tree, because in most families, an aunt would be, or aunt, however you pronounce it. I say ant, like the little insect. Most aunts and uncles would be like one of your mother or father's siblings, or by marriage. So this was an aunt by marriage, but they were never married. They were just, this is also commonplace in my family where there's a lot of children had out of wedlock. There's a lot of non-marriages. So they were never married. And they'd been, my aunt and uncle have been, my uncle is my dad's brother. And then my aunt who passed away was his baby's mama. But they were together for a long time. They were together from like probably the late 70s, because my cousin was born in 80. So they were probably 79, 80, 78. I don't know. Late 70s is when they started dating. And then they were together until probably the mid 90s. I would say the mid 90s. My uncle spent some time in the slammer in the early 90s. So, but they stayed through. Common law aunts. Yeah, the common law. So they were together for, most of my childhood into my probably teen years. So she passed away, and it was one of those, I wasn't like, I was close to her as a kid because we were really close to, like, my dad and my uncle were really close, and hung out a lot. And my cousin Michelle, we were like brother and sister growing up. So I was like always around them. And my aunt was very nice, sweet lady. Had her struggles, with substances, and but I don't think I ever saw her like get mad. Get really mad. Like, I mean, she would get mad if we were like fucking around doing stuff we weren't supposed to do. But like, it was just like, kids, stop it. Like, that's it. It was like, kids, stop it. And we'd stop for a little bit and then we'd go do it, but we'd do it a little more secretively. So we didn't get caught the next time. So yeah. So I would usually see her about once a year. And it's also like my family, once your family, like it's kind of like, I don't want to compare it to like military because I don't want to offend anybody. But it's like, once you're in, you're in. Like, once you're part of the family, you're in, you're stuck. It's like the mafia. I guess I can compare it to the mafia. Hopefully nobody shoots me for saying that. But once you're in, you're in. Sorry. And just make light of a sad time, is once you're in, you're in. My mom and one of my dad's ex-wives, they're like really good friends. They like go vacation together. They went to Mississippi last spring. They get together like on Sundays with my sister and a couple of my nieces. And it's like, in growing up, my dad's ex-wife, my brother and sister's mom, she was like an aunt to me. And so that's why it's like, yeah, John, I am too. It's just, it's not a tree, it's a forest. My wife's like, so who's my wife does, like, we've been together for almost 11 years. And she's like, okay, so how? So yeah, so my aunt, even though she'd been separated from my uncle for 30 years now, she was still my aunt, even though she was never married to my uncle, and they'd been separated for 30 years. Like, she still came to family functions, and she still came down to, we get together on the first weekend of June for Anawan Fun Days. She would come every Anawan Fun Days. She had a boyfriend, a man friend, and they would come every year to the parade and the cookout we have. So I think for whatever reason, and I just think it's because of nostalgia. The one thing there's two things that stick out in my memory of my aunt. It's she took me and my cousin and my other cousin, my cousins, to Home Alone in the movie theater. So that's always like, I remember, because it's one of my favorite, obviously one of my favorite Christmas movies, but just one of my favorite movies. And I think it's from a nostalgia standpoint. And I remember her taking us to see that in the movie theaters in Kiwani. And then my other memory, she had this blue, was it a Firebird? Like, I've got to Google this because I want to get the right car. So I want to give you a picture. 1970s Fire. I just want to see what a 1970s Firebird. Oh yeah. So she had a car that looked like Trans Am. That's a Trans Am on the photo. Is there a Firebird? Or is a Firebird a Trans Am? Are they the same? That doesn't really, that kind of looks like it, but kind of not. But in a hot rod like that, kind of looked like a 70s Firebird. And it might have been a 70s Firebird. I wonder if there's Firebirds through the years, because maybe it was like an 80s Firebird. Ooh, here it is. Auto Evolution Pontiac Firebird through the years. Here, let's Auto Evolution. Let's share the screen. Watch this together. Through the years. Can you see? Is that big enough? Let's just blow it up. All right. Here we go. All right. So it definitely wasn't, because it was like the early 90s when this was going on. So it wasn't an 82 to 92. Doesn't look like that. So it looks like this. It looks like a 70s. It was a 70s, and it was blue. Yeah, it definitely wasn't the 60s. So it was blue, like a picture of 1970s blue Firebird, and a Trans Am is a souped up Firebird. So maybe it was a Trans Am. Maybe it was a 70s. Did they make Trans Ams in the 70s? Maybe it was a 70s Trans Am. It might have been. And I remember we were probably, I was probably 10. My older cousin was 2 years older. So she was probably 12. I was 10. And my cousin would go for joyrides. And so they lived in a little town called Mineral, Illinois. It was just a few miles from Anawan. And so we would joyride around Mineral. Now, Mineral, just when I say small town, if you're from a city, you're like, small town could be like 50,000 people. No, I'm talking small town, like the smallest of towns you can get, like 150 population. Like there's a few houses. There's a grid and there's maybe 12 blocks in the entire town. So we're talking like 150 population. The only back then growing up, we had the Mineral bit. So because I spent a lot of, I wanted to move to Mineral. I wanted to move from the sprawling metropolis of Anawan, population 900, with gas stations and grocery store and all of that, to Mineral, which had a bait shop. That was it had a bait shop and a library, and it had the Chuck Wagon, which was a dive bar restaurant. It's now called the Wagon Wheel. I think it was closed for several years. It opened up. God, it's probably been opened back up for 25 years now, but I think in the late 90s it closed. So we would hang out at the bait shop, and the bait shop was basically the Mineral bait shop was, let's Google Earth. I want to paint you a picture. Let's do something today. Let's Google Earth Mineral, Illinois, and I'll show you Mineral, Illinois, and the points that we explored. Search Google Earth, Mineral, Illinois. So if you're just joining me, we're searching Mineral, Illinois on Google Earth because my aunt passed away yesterday, and she was my uncle's baby mom. They were never married, but like I mentioned earlier, once you're family, you're stuck. So this is an overview of Mineral, Illinois. King Creek over here to the left of your screen. We would go down like probably right around the middle of your screen, like kind of where that bend is. Yeah, because we would usually go out the road to the road on the very bottom left, like that country road that goes out. We would walk out. So my aunt, cousins, they lived on the far right, and we would go through town like all 4 blocks, and we'd walk out this country road, and it's maybe a half a mile. I don't think that's a full mile, out to this bridge. And then we'd go down and we'd explore down into the creek, and we'd walk down probably to the bend. I don't think we always went down to the highway. So right in the middle of the screen is highway, is Route 6. So in Route 6, that's the road that takes you to the left, goes to Anawan. So let's can we do street view? So here's the wagon wheel. I want to do street view. Can we do street view? I think so. Here we go. So this is that's looking out towards Anawan on Route 6. And then as you come in from Anawan, this is now the wagon wheel. It used to be the Chuck Wagon. They used to not be ADA compliant. This little like ticket booth thing at the front, little entryway. The entrance back when it was the Chuck Wagon was on the left side. Now it's on the right, and they've got the handicap accessibility. It was just a couple steps into that thing. Now it's on the other side. And then to the left, that whole outdoor area was non-existent when we were growing up. So this was the bait shop. Can I click? Oh, the semi is obstructing our view. So over here, so when I was growing up, there was a payphone here, and we would prank call people. And this was all grain elevators, and those have all been demolished. So the bait shop was basically in these buildings. So there's like 4 or 5 different buildings all connected. The semi is blocking where the actual bait shop. The bait shop entrance was like right in the middle, and it was basically like a convenience store. like a very, very small convenience store. And they had like an arcade so kids could go in. And then, come on, I want to go way out here. So this is Mineral, and that's about it. That's about it. This is like the downtown. There's Mineral. That's like the downtown area. This straight ahead, that is, I think, the fire department, that little building. I think they had maybe 2 fire trucks. I don't think they have an ambulance. That is this was the library straight ahead to the left of the water tower, and it's now like the Mineral Historical Museum. And there's American Legion Hall over here, post office. So that's Mineral. Spent a lot of time running the streets, the mean streets of Mineral. So, all right, enough about that. Let's go to the chat. Let's say hello. It is Monday. Happy Monday, Peter. What's going on? Uncle Rich, good morning. Bo doing that double shift between last night and this morning. Here. There's going to be a lot more Bo to come. Tomorrow night, we do Tuesday night hoops on eBay Live. I might do a pop-up daytime show tomorrow, Tuesday during the day, maybe like in the morning after Ernie goes to school. So maybe like 10 a.m., 10:30. We may do an eBay Live during the day. I want to test out the daytime and try a different audience, because some people that are buying at night aren't going to be buying during the day. Some people that buy during the day aren't available to buy at night. So we're going to test. And there's a lot of, I've seen most of the streams that I've viewed and watched have been during the day. So I'm going to test it out either Tuesday or Wednesday. I don't think I'm going to do after Tuesday. There probably will not be another primetime eBay Live this week, just because it is Madison Card Show weekend with the 2 shows. But I do want to try a daytime show this week. So tomorrow night is locked in, 7 p.m. Central. It's basketball. I think there's going to be about 150 cards. I think I've got 120 loaded right now. I've got a batch that I scanned in, but I don't think I'm going to add those to tomorrow night's because it's like a 70 card batch. So I may just table those for maybe the daytime. Maybe I'll just do a daytime, but I want to do some baseball, get back to some baseball, modern baseball during the day this week. Philly Joe, what's happening? Good morning. Decent auction I was very happy with eBay Live last night. I go in with an expectation, with kind of a goal in mind. And Thursday night was basically right where I expected things to land. Last night, nearly double what I expected. So I was very happy with last night's sales results. And hopefully we continue that trend. Todd, good morning. Happy Patriots Day for us in Maine and Massachusetts. eBay Live was fun. Thank you, Todd. Happy Patriots Day. Is that like a school day? Do kids get school off for Patriots Day? Uncle Rich says, nice finishing kick. Yeah, we ended it off with some good cards. Wayne Gretzky, third-year Wayne Gretzky. I think that went for like $25. What else? We had 81 tops, Ricky Henderson. That was a nice card. John says, any event-worn items at the Pokemon Show this weekend? Not that I'm aware of, but you never know. You never know what you'll find at the Madison Card Show or the Madison Pokemon Show. Johnny M., good morning. When you list an auction on eBay Live, does it count against your monthly listing allotments? Yes. Yes, it does. Now, if auctions sell, you get that money back. So I've not used up it's the 21st, and I haven't used up all my I think I have like 90 auctions still to use. So once you get dinged, you'll get a credit back when they sell. And so far, out of, let's see, 230, 250, I've sold 350, or I've listed 350 eBay Live auctions, and only I think 28. I misplaced one card, was in the unsold pile that should have been. So there were 28 cards that went unsold. So 325 sold out of 350, pretty good margin. Now, I don't know if that's always going to be the case. And especially when you start, I've been curating what I put on eBay Live. There's going to come a time where it's like, I need to go on live. I'm just going to throw on these 100 cards and maybe only 50 sell. So So yeah, and that's something I'm gonna ask about with and that could change right now. Yes, it does. It is counting against my auctions, but I don't care because I get that money back if an item sells. And when you list cards, you want them to sell. Like the goal is to sell cards. I don't like that listing fee, but I like getting it back. And it's like, well, and eventually once you do it, and it's like, well, you spend $20 on listing fees today, and you got to basically wait a week, or eBay Live is pretty instant, and then you get that credit back. On auctions, once you run an auction, the first couple times, if you're paying $20 a day, eventually you start seeing $20 a day in refunds or close to it. Andy back, good morning. Taking our new dog out for a walk. What's the dog's name and what kind of dog is it? A new puppy. Cody, what's happening? Good morning. Cody, I'm gonna reach out to you. I still don't have details on what's going on, but I'm gonna reach out to you. Zach says, how do I avoid a parking ticket at your card shows? Well, it's free parking. Just don't park in handicap spots if you don't have a handicap placard. Is it placard or placard? Placard sounds like a Star Trek character, Captain Jean-Luc Placard. So don't do that. Don't park where it says don't park, and you should be good to go. I can't guarantee you avoid parking tickets, because if you park where you're not supposed to, you could be open to a parking ticket. E-bike parking, Zach, it's free. Bike parking, yeah, plenty of bike parking spots. Cooter, good morning. Great live last night. Fun to watch, even though there were cards for me to bid on. There weren't. I think he meant there were not cards for him to bid on. I did the 80s thing in the 80s. John says, or just get a DoorDash car magnet. Hey, there you go. Skirt the rules. TD Sports Cards, what's happening? Good morning. Gem City's in the house. Tell her to put up a few foil pans and Ernie will lay down, not just for the birds. There you go. John says, I also leave my hazards on. Many ways to hack the parking thing. Bo parenting skills are on point. Zach says, your wife sat at Wrigley for an entire day watching you throw out the first pitch and live a card collector Cubs fan's dream. Your wife's patience checks out. She's very patient with me. Christian, good morning. eBay Live, the morning after. Yeah, here we are. Can rookies still partake in conjugal visits? I don't think they're that type of friends, because they're both dudes. Not that there's anything wrong with that. But Ernie has a girlfriend at doggy daycare. Her name is Augie. She's a doodle, a brown doodle. She's the cutest little thing. And that's Ernie's girlfriend. Peter says, sorry to hear. Thank you. Zach says, Bo, do your auction sell prices reset the comp market, or are they outliers? They could be outliers. One way or another. If they sell high, it's an outlier on the high side. If they're low, it's on the low side. Sorry about your aunt. Will you see all your first cousins now? So I will. I don't know when the my cousin that's on Facebook says that there's going to be a celebration of life at some point. So hopefully I can make it down there. I will see. I don't think all of the first cousins have ever been at the same place at the same time. I mean, when there's like 30 some, it's just impossible. But I will probably see. I'll see a few. I mean, it is my dad's side that's the larger of the cousin side. I guess my first cousin's on that side. But I definitely won't see all of them from that side. Thank you, Philly Joe. May her memory be a blessing. Thank you, Rich. Common law aunts don't require you to rent a suit for the service. That dry fit you are wearing is acceptable. I agree. Yeah, there will be few suits, I think. John says, what if she was a shitty person, Rich? Some folks should be forgotten. Gem City, sorry to hear that. Thank you. I am so confused by your family tree. And it's my own family tree. And sometimes I get confused. Like, I mean, I have nieces and nephews that I don't know names. Nieces and nephews, or I guess, no, I know my nieces and nephews, great nieces and great nephews. I don't know all of their names. I now have two great nieces or nephews. I can't remember. I think one's a great niece. The second one I can't remember. I'm getting better. I'm starting to remember more of their names. Gem City says, "Oh, I've got it mapped out on the back of a mega box lid." Orlando, what's happening? Good morning. Bo has a family tumbleweed. Yeah, yep. Gone here today, gone tomorrow. John says, "I had an aunt take us to see The Deep. I will never forget that. I had no idea nipples existed until that night." I don't know if I have ever seen The Deep. I'm curious now. Unicorn Cupcake says, I think it was a Trans Am. I think it was a 70s Trans Am. Zach says, when Home Alone finally hit the Anawan theaters in 1997, it was a big deal. Hey, we went to the city of Kewanee that had stoplights and a Walmart and McDonald's. And it was 1990 or whatever year Home Alone came out. T-top. Yes, it did have T-tops. It did have T-tops. D equals Trans Am is a souped up Firebird. Z28 was a souped up Camaro, and Firebirds were the same thing, like Tops and O-Pee-Chee. Cody says, I'll never forget getting the movie The Replacements from my uncle. Best sports movie. Was that with, who was in The Replacement? Was that Keanu Reeves? Was he in that? Who was in that? That dude from Duryea, what's up? I don't even know where to comment on this story. Mikey, good morning. John says, I'm not sure I can be friends with a person who asks, did they make Trans Ams in the 70s? John, I wasn't alive yet. I was not alive. And I'm not a car guy. Not a car guy. Dan, what's happening? Mikey says, how did last night go? I think it went well. I think it nearly doubled my expectations. I have kind of a goal set for each live auction, and it nearly doubled my expectations. So I was very happy. Dan says, John, favorite cars from the 60s, 70s. John says, Anawan people putting down 150 pop towns. Hey, that's right. John likes the Gremlin. Dan says, the 66 Buick Riviera, AMC Pacer, AMC Javelin, the 1973 Gran Torino. Nice one. Anyone own a sedan in that godforsaken village? A sedan. I wonder. Can we Google Earth? Let's go see. Are there any cars? Hey, there's a car. There's a small SUV. There's some trucks. A lot of trucks in Mineral. I bought displays for my Hot Wheels. Very nice. Very nice. I was a big Hot Wheels kid. Loved the Hot Wheels. 64 Skylark. Marissa Tomei, my cousin Vinny. Where we at? Marissa Tomei, the actress that never aged. Mikey says, I just paid for my order. Thank you. I appreciate that. Tomorrow night, basketball. I think there's a Cameron Brink or two in tomorrow night's eBay Live. Tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Central. Tuesday night, hoops. We're doing basketball. There's also a pretty low serial numbered Lisa Leslie early WNBA card. I think it's numbered out of 300-some, 333 maybe. Tomorrow night. Is this week the Menko live stream? Asking Dan. Tracy says to Dan, my first car in 1990. Paid $400 for it my last 2 years of high school, then sold it for the same amount to a guy who used it as a demolition derby car. Love that car. That's awesome. My first car was a Pontiac Sunbird. Dan says, depends what Mike and Ryan have purchased. I'm pretty much only a host now because I've been cutting back on buying them. Johnny M says, FOMO is eBay Live's best friend. Heck yeah. Dan says, trying to pick up some 60s and 70s classic cars, Hot Wheels. Patriots Day is a state holiday and the start of school vacation week. Very cool. Mikey says, so you were saying that double what you expected means I overpaid for my cards I bought for my collection. Well, some went for lower. Overall, there was how many? 114, I think, auctions last night. Overall, there were some that went for a lot lower than I expected. Not a lot lower, but some went for lower than I expected. A lot went for higher than expected. But also, that's the stuff I don't comp. Like, that's the stuff I throw in my eBay store as a buy it now. Sometimes it sits, sometimes it sells right away. So you never know. Maybe I should start looking at comps when I list buy it now. Unicorn Cupcake says, my first car was an 89 Z24. When I got my DL driver's license, the first day I got in 2 crashes. Wow. Not wasting any time. My my friend Brandon, who sets up, he'll be here Saturday at the Madison Card Show. He was like my friend that was the oldest in age. So he got his driver's license. He was a few years older than me. So I think he was 4 years older than me. So when he turned 16, I was like 12. And he had a brother that was my age. He had a Dodge Dart, talking 70s cars. He had a Dodge Dart, like a 71 or 72 Dodge Dart. And he got his it was a Saturday. His birthday was on a Saturday. He got his driver's license first thing in the morning at the DMV. Also, Kiwani also has a DMV, not just a movie theater, but a DMV as well. And he got his driver's license. He's like, all right, pile in. So there was probably 5-6 of us in the car, which is piling in a freaking Dodge Dart. And you go out of Anawan, and there's it's a country road, so it's probably, how do I get back? I could Google Earth it for you since we're still on Google Earth. I'm not familiar with Google Earth. No, I don't want that. Come on, I want to. Maybe if I hit back. All right, here we go. Let's share the screen again. All right, so got his driver's license. Well, I need a new map. I say this every day. All right, so so Interstate 80 in Route 6, and then the north-south, that's Route 78. So here's an overview of Anawan. Come on. Why is it not? My mouse fucking sucks. This is really ticking me off. All right. So where's the school? All right. So that's Route 6. All right. So yeah. So there's not going to be we're just going to have to overview. So here's the school, Anawan School right there. It's on the southwest side of Anawan. So this road is called Mud Creek Road. That goes out, and this is a little like drainage canal. And then this goes out to the creek. So football, we had to run this out to the bridge. It's a weird intersection. So it like curves to the left. My friend Jason, that was his farm down here on the bottom. So this was Mud Creek. So we took the Dodge Dart down Mud Creek Road. We turned here, crossed the bridge. That's where everybody tagged and spray painted the bridge. And then you hang a quick left and go down this road. This is called Lone Tree Road because there was, oh shit, I think the Lone Tree is no longer there because the Lone Tree was like halfway here. That was the Haberback farm. I think they probably still live there. So you go down this country road, and then this road right here, this intersection, there was like a hill in the middle of the intersection. So if you go fast and you hit this intersection, you'll go airborne, which is a lot of fun if you don't crash. We kind of crashed. So it was a combination of speed, being airborne, and this section up here had been freshly graveled. So we're coming down with some speed. We hit the intersection. We go airborne. we come down somewhere in here, hit that gravel, and we start doing fishtails. And I think somewhere down here, we ended up spinning around and crashing into a ditch. Everybody was okay. Nobody got hurt. Only spirits. We had to end up walking up this long driveway to that. There was a farm there. It looks like it's been bulldozed also. And they had to get a tractor to pull us out. Broke like a tie rod in the Dodge Dart. So that's Anawan. That's Anawan. And that's the story of my friend Brandon crashing his Dodge Dart the first day he got his driver's license back in 1994, probably. And I'll see Brandon this Saturday at the Madison Card Show. He's a dealer at the show. Good morning, Michael. What's happening? Red Light is late, but he's here. Welcome. Good morning. East Coast Tom is here. What's happening? Good morning. Dan says, my first car was a 1986 Mitsubishi Starion Turbo Black. That sounds like a fancy car. Starion Turbo. I found a Tomica version of my car. Tomica. Placard. So it's not like Jean-Luc Placard. Cat is her name. 1-year-old chocolate lab terrier mix. Oh, very cool. Very cool. Unicorn Cupcake says, it reminds me of the Back to the Future car. Flawed Thinker says, my mom asked me how Whatnot works since she's seen me sell on there before. She asked if I could help her sell on there. Had her first auction yesterday and made $50 per hour. She was happy. Very nice. Very nice. Dan says, sorry for your loss. Came in late. Thank you. Cooter says, Augie, like Augie Bush. Has Ernie hooked up with a Cardinals dog? No. I don't know. I'll have to ask. Hopefully it's not a Cardinals fan. It's funny because our neighbors here, is their dog passed away, was Agatha. And she, like, when you think of Agatha, you're like an old like hag. And Agatha the dog was kind of an old hag. There you go, like Augie Ojeda. Yeah. Augie Ojeda, not Augie Bush. Mikey says the Pope died on Easter Sunday. Yeah, isn't that something? That's like WWE right there. That's like the Pope dying on Easter is like, that's like a wrestling storyline. It was WrestleMania. It was 420. Easter, the Pope dies. What a confluence of random shit on Easter Sunday. My aunt died. I don't know if my aunt will see the Pope in the afterlife. Maybe they'll pass the doobie together. I don't know. Rich says Bissett wet t-shirt changed John's life. So when was The Deep? Now I've got to look it up. The Deep movie, 1977. Jacqueline Bissett. Is Jacqueline Bissett, was that Josie Bissett's mom? Josie Bissett was in a movie that, like, she was a big crush for me. Josie Bissett. I think it was the movie Mikey, about this like deranged, murderous child named Mikey. Not like our friend Mikey in the chat, but evil Mikey from the movie. East Coast Tom says, just be happy that your family tree forks. Lots of folks around here can't make that claim. Well, now the Thompson side with Curly Bill has its roots down in Kentucky. So who knows what happened back in the 1800s down in Kentucky. Tell Dougie what's happening. Good morning. Didn't get a parking ticket at the last show, but did have to park on the street a couple businesses away from the Sheraton. Yes. Yeah, parking parking can be tricky. Somebody could be like, I'm not suggesting this. Get in trouble. Put like parking cones out in parking spots. Like go out there early in the morning, put out parking cones, and then charge for parking. Hey, $20 to park here. Don't do that. Don't do that. You'll get in trouble. I'll get in trouble. Cameron Bring. I've got Cameron Brink. I've got no Cameron Bring. Cameron Brink, there's your chance to help out Bo. There you go. Rich may have to bid. You read my mind. Cameron Brink is God hot smoking hot. Mikey. I triggered Mikey. God smoking hot. Where's my basketball? Get a little Cameron Brink action Tuesday night. Gem City says, where's LRS? I'll do his part. You have Pope card. List now. He did, so buy or pay big money. Mikey, I commented your purchases were very good during the show. Dan says, I assume you didn't do a final lot auction. No. So I had one set up to go at 114 singles up for grabs last night. We had, during the first round, we had only 3 cards went unsold. So I just ended up rerunning the singles instead of doing a lot of just 3 cards. So the Brett Saberhagen 85 Fleer went from unsold, and it sold for $3.75 on the second run. And then the 87 Pete Rose, I think, sold for $1.04 on the second run. And then the Rod Carew Diamond Kings, I think, sold for 99 cents. So everything sold, and we didn't have to do a final lot. That's kind of my goal, is not have to do a final lot, but it's there in case we need it. So, and when I'm only putting, and right now I'm putting a lot of, I'm trying to put sellable items up, stuff that may only sell for 99 cents, but that's, if it sells for 99 cents and people buy, multiple, even if they buy a single card, it's okay. But we'll see. And as I get my feet wet and do more and more streams and we'll see it. And maybe I just do like, here's a lot unsold items from previous auctions. Like I've got a pile of 28 from Thursday. Although I could probably I might just rerun these on, if I can figure out how to transfer to a new auction. I may just rerun those like during the day on tomorrow or Wednesday. Actually, tomorrow. I mean, if I can figure out how to get those transferred over, I might just add one batch in and like, hey, 10 o'clock, we're going live tomorrow morning. Rich says, as I noted, you were kicking butt and taking names. Rich's first car was a 1972 Plymouth Satellite station wagon. My first car was the 89 Pontiac Sunbird, and it had I put a 12-disc CD changer in the trunk. And I also, now, back in the day, like when we were young, we did things that may have been illegal, and don't do these things. But I was very envious of the vehicles that had that you could lower the back seats into the trunk. So like if you were going to the county fair, you could smuggle humans in through the trunk. Like, oh, we got just four of us tonight, and there's like 4 of them crammed in the trunk. So instead of paying $10 a head, we only had to pay $5. But it also came in handy if you were transporting, say, beer, and you were not of drinking age. So I was very envious of those that had the not removable back seats, but lowering back seats into the trunk. And so I created my own removable back seats. In my car, like there was, I think I was looking in the trunk, and I figured out that there was just basically like a piece of fabric between the back seat and the trunk. It wasn't like metal or anything. So I'm like, if I could tear the seat out, and I can just cut this fabric out, and I have a direct access to the trunk, and I can hide beer back there, and it can be accessible from the back seat. So I did that. I think when I went to sell the car, and I mean, it was I beat the shit out of this car, and tore the shit out of it. And my dad was pretty upset when he found out that I ripped up the back seat so I could access the trunk. And Why would you do that? What are you doing? Why would you rip up the back seat like that? And I'm like, because I wanted to access the CD changer. I think he was smarter than that, but he pretended to buy it. Where we at? Let's see. Rich says, my brother got his driver's license, was driving home, and someone ran a traffic light and did damage to his car. Yikes. Zach says, Rich, how many times was that car described by a witness in a police report? Rich, are you into Japanese babes? I have some juicy honey you can buy. There you go. Juicy honey. Mikey says, thank you, Rich. They're going to be in my collection. I don't have very many 80s cards in my collection. Very nice. I'm happy to get you started there. John says, I'm not sure we are ever more alive than when we're in a car with no adults for the very first time. Isn't it? It's liberating. It's exciting. I'll never forget the first day, the day I got my driver's license. It was a Saturday also, going to the DMV and having that freedom for the first time as a 16-year-old in my Pontiac Sunbird that I'd been like waxing and cleaning for months in preparation, that this is finally I have an ownership of something that's not baseball cards, that can get me out of the house. The freedom, like, oh my God, I can go anywhere. And I had to work. Like, my birthday was a Saturday, June 6th, 1998. I think that was right. I know it was a Saturday. And I had to work that Saturday at the IGA, and they're like, so it was, I had to work the 9 to 7 shift, and I like worked a lot. Like, I wanted to work a lot, especially on the weekends, because I wanted that money. I got a car now. I can go drive to the mall. So I requested to work. Like, I want to work. I want to make money. And, but I worked the 9 to 7 shift, but I also wanted to drive. So I went first thing in the morning. So it ended up being like an 11 to 7 shift. Cause I went and got my license first thing in the morning, and then I wanted to drive, and I was just like speeding all over town. Like, just freaking, oh my God. What a feeling. What a feeling. Dan says, did you just say you played high school football? You had enough people to form a team? Yeah. So I only played my freshman year. I went out for football my freshman year. Yes. We had a team. Our high school had a football team until 2003 or 2004. And then they started co-oping with a neighboring school. And we were pretty good up until my 4 years in high school. We went to the playoffs one year. My junior year, my freshman year, we just missed the playoffs. It was back then. You basically had to go 6-3 to make the playoffs. Now you can go 5-4, and sometimes 4 and 5 teams get in the playoffs in Illinois. My freshman year, we went 5-4. We played Rova in the last week of the season. They were 4-4. We were 5-3. They were 5-3. And they beat us like by a touchdown. So we were 5-4, missed the playoffs. Rova went 6-3, made the playoffs. My sophomore year, I don't think we were that good. We didn't make the playoffs because we only made the playoffs my junior year. We went 6-3 or 7-2. I think we went 7-2 my junior year. Made the playoffs. Had to go all the way down to like the St. Louis area to play Hardin Calhoun. And then my senior year, we were bad. We were like 2-7. We won the homecoming game. But yeah, and 2003 or 2004 is when we, started having trouble fielding enough players. Mikey says, I feel like John usually going to bed super early, passing out at 9 or 10 at night normally. Tracy says, how did you sell off all unside items go? How did your sale of sold items go? Did you do it from a previous auction or last night's ad? So it was, there was no lot at the end. So the plan was to do all unsold items from this auction, from last night's auction. Only 3 cards went unsold in the first go. So I just reran each, and all 3 sold on the second run. So didn't do any unsold lots. Dan says, anyone else lagging tonight on the stream? Tom says, is there a historical marker outside the house you grew up in? No, there is not. Southern Cross was playing the first time I drove solo in my car. I regularly play it when I drive the Mustang. 40 years and counting. Nice. I don't know what was playing the first time in my car. It's probably like Ironic by Alanis Morissette or something to that effect. What was hot in 1998. Max in the house. Good morning. He says, I feel like I had much more fun than the average high school kid, but would have never considered doing anything close to that. Cooter says, I have the same phone number my parents got in 1972, married to a girl I met in 77, still have my first car from 84, and vintage still ends in 1980. I embrace change. Mikey says, I normally go to sleep at 9 or 10 and start gradually falling asleep around 7. Johnny says, first car, 1975 Ford Maverick. I crashed going home from the bar the first night I had it. Don't remember leaving the bar, woke up in the hospital. Oof. The Pope died on Monday. Well, bummer. He actually died on Monday their time. Oh my God. Keating and I agree on something. Unicorn Cupcake says, I'm not sure if you want her to be in the same place as the Pope. Bissett and Bissett are not related. Interesting. Not a common last name. Gem City Card Show says, when Bo finds out Cap Anson is his paternal great-grandfather, the evolution will be complete. I'm sure. Where's old Cap Anson from? Basically, anybody from Kentucky, we're probably related. The Franklin Mega Show looked popular. Yeah, sounded like a good turnout over there. Mikey says, I'm totally different than that movie. Mikey, don't confuse the two. Have you seen it? It's not a very I remember watching it as a kid, or whenever it came out. And then I ended up finding it last summer. It's on like Tubi or Pluto. I was working out on the porch, and I just wanted background movie. I was sick of hobby content. I was sick of true crime. I'm like, well, how about a good horror movie? And that was, I'm like, oh man, I didn't even know. I forgot all about this movie. I loved it as a kid. JG says, Brad was slinging that shit back in the day out of the dart. Nice he moved into slinging cardboard. Right. I was curious, so I went to comc.com about Pope Francis cards. Actually, I have a Pope, the other Pope. There's the link. Pope John Paul II, I think, has a card in Allen and Ginter. And I just found, I was going through boxes, and I'm like, oh, this probably sells pretty well on eBay. What's a Pope card sell for? Pope Allen, let's just look Pope Allen and Ginter. 2013. Oh, Pope Francis does have a card in 2013. Oh, wait, in 2016. All right. Sold items. PSA 10, 2013 Allen and Ginter Pope Francis sold for $115. Looks like they're going for about $10 to $15. 2013 Pope Francis. And 2016. There's a papal visit card. Oh, the papal visit was 2016. There you go. Pope Francis cards. Where are we at? Unicorn Cupcake says, while in Mexico, I saw and was told that they put rocks in the parking spot. If you park there, you will probably end up with a broken windshield. TCDB listings of the Pope. Tom says, to Rich, rabbi cards used to be hot in Baltimore back in the 80s. Zach says you should think about using some of the back seat you tore out to build yourself a better stand to display cards on your live auctions. Bargain Boxer, he's got the countdown. We are at 100 days to the National Sports Collectors Convention in Rosemont, Illinois, at the Donald Stevens Convention Center. Let's go! Andy Mack says, kids don't have that same desire to get a license and be free now. I blame the lack of Dukes of Hazzard and Knight Rider on TV. Yeah. You know, Cooter, when I was down in Oklahoma City with Cooter, we were talking about that because Cooter was showing me, like, back in his day, like where they hung out, and this is the loop we cruised. And so, you know, we had the similar, you know, growing up, and I bet all of us had that growing up. And, you know, we cruised the loop or cruised whatever it was, and we hung out. Like, this is before smartphones, obviously, also. And like in Anawan, you saw the overview. It's a pretty small town, 900 population. We would hang out in the bank parking lot. We would cruise like the outer roads, and basically we had our own little loop in the small town of Anawan. So I was asking Cooter, I'm like, because Cooter has kids that are of driving age and a little older now, and I'm like, do kids do that? He's like, no, like they just hang out at houses and stuff. And I'm like, it's like a lost art, hanging out in a parking lot, just driving around, not looking at phones. It's a lost time. Bargain Boxer says, remember when you sent your kids to their room and it was punishment? Now it's a reward when a kid gets sent to their room. Yeah. Like, I'd love to go to my room. Yeah. Now you got to take away the screens for punishment. Dad Dude from Duryea says, we needed our license back in the day because we didn't have DoorDash or a dating app for the chicks. Yeah. You have to drive. Go to the other towns because their chicks were cooler. Life with Mikey, starring Michael J. Fox. Much different movie than Life with Mikey. Much different movie. Here, let me 1992. This is the movie. Share the screen. Mikey. It's this kid. He's pretty famous, right? Josie Bassett played Jesse Owens. Brian Bonsall was Mikey. He was such a creepy kid too, man. Such a creepy kid. There's another. That was the movie poster. Evil Mikey. Remember, Jason and Freddy were kids once too. So Mikey the film, here's the Wikipedia. 1992 American psychological slasher film. Stars Brian Bonsall in his feature film debut as the title character, a young boy adopted by a family who turns out to be a violent psychopath. There you go. Brian Bonsall, what was he? Was he Growing Pains? Family Ties. He was the little kid on Family Ties. Mikey says, or Mac says, I think all of them have. Benedict had a World Leaders one too, I believe. I like Pat. Can I say Papal? Papal. I like Papal. 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 I like Papal. Bradley says, I heard the pipe had the bird flu. Yep, caught it from a cardinal, but where we at? I thought that was the last comment, but we got more comments. Mikey says, horror movies are pretty scary. They remind me of haunted houses, and I don't like them, honestly. Yeah, them horror movies. Papal, like how deep Southerners say people. Piple. Rich says they did like 2 sets of those rabbis, and the first one in 1988, if I recall. Bargain Boxer loves the horror movies. Horror movies don't scare me at all unless there's a cup involved. Tom says, I'm surprised there weren't any errors. Horror movies, let's go. Let's go. Love the horror movies. Max says, taking a ride just to take a ride has always puzzled me. Waste of time and money. Oh, man. I mean, that's what you do when you're 16, 17. Fucking just cruise, baby. Roll the windows down on a warm summer night. rip the back of your back seats out so you can access your old Milwaukee's best because you're the high school kid and you can't afford Bud Light, and cruise the back roads. It's a great time. It's a great time to be alive. Tom says, like the Hiram Rubenstein with the airbrushed beard. Kids don't even rush to get their license anymore. I have noticed that. Like with I've got friends now that have kids of that age, and it's like, yeah, they're not in any rush. I'm like, what? Like, goddamn. I was like counting. I had a countdown like Bargain Boxer does on the National. Like, fuck. Like, only 379 days until I get my driver's license. It's like, fuck. Now they're just waiting. Like, like it ain't no thing. Not me, man. Unicorn Cupcake says, I saw the movie Whore when I was too young. I believe the plot revolved around a lady of the night having relations with an old man, and he had a heart attack and died. She freaks out, and the plot thickens. Hey, speaking of, and it's actually, it's not a lady of the night, but have you ever seen Harold and Maude? Oh, that bedroom scene with Harold and Maude. Ugh, nightmares. Talk about a whore. Mikey says, I apparently don't know how to spell. I didn't mean to say whore. I thought that's how you spelled scary movies. Horror, Horror, is the scary movie. WHORE is the sexy time movies. Those are the sexy time movies. Johnny M says, you don't take away the screens, you take away the chargers. It's like torture for them watching their battery life die. That is demonic, but I like it. Horror. Horrible spelling. Thank you, Unicorn, for the correct spelling. Tom says to Max, going for a Sunday drive with a family was fun as a kid. Large family didn't get to take real vacations. Max says, refer to my last comment, still puzzles me. Wasteful. I mean, isn't watching some random dude talk about horror movies in his basement, isn't that a waste of time? I mean, you could be watching instead of watching like something educational, you're listening to a random dude in his basement talk about horror movies. Talk about waste of time. Or showing you maps of Mineral, Illinois. Talk about a waste of time. What are you doing with your life? Watching me in Google Earth. Gas was cheaper in the 70s. So was minimum wage. I wonder what was the comparison like today. I don't even know what minimum wage was then or now, or hell, gas price. I get gas whenever I do, but gas is like what, $3 a gallon, $3.20 right now. Where are we at? Let's see. Rich says we continue with the PG-13 chats. Mikey says kids don't need their license because of parents' SUVs and boyfriends or girlfriends taking them around. Well, somebody needs a license. Max says more time blown than the money for me. Unicorn says I collect the 1938 Horrors of War only because the Horrors of War set is too large. John says I used to fuck with my kids by changing the passwords on everything. Torturous. Max says, I'm working. You're on in the background, but thanks. But you could be watching something educational, not listening to me. Although you might learn something. I don't think it'll ever help, but you might learn something. Horrors were cheaper in the 70s too. Hey, hit that like button if you like horror talk. Subscribe to the channel. Visit my eBay store, 99centcards.com. We had a great eBay sale last night. We're going to run it back Tuesday night. I might do a sale tomorrow during the day, like 10 a.m. tomorrow morning, just to kind of test out daytime streams. And I don't want to get in I do want to do some daytime streams. I kind of want to balance it out. I want to do more live sales, but I kind of want to do them at various times. I want to do prime time just because it is prime time. But I also want to do some daytime streams as well and just see what works. So, and what doesn't work. So possibly tomorrow, and I'll let you know tomorrow morning for sure. If not tomorrow, it'll be Wednesday during the day. Excuse me. But tomorrow night for sure, it's scheduled. Cards are already loaded for basketball. Tuesday night hoops tomorrow night on eBay Live at 7 p.m. Central. Let's see. Tomorrow or Wednesday during the day. And then there probably won't be any. I'll probably just do 2 streams this week. Just because I want to focus on getting ready for the two show weekend. So tomorrow night for sure, and then maybe Tuesday or Wednesday during the day, 10 a.m. Aim for 10 a.m. Central Time. 7 p.m. Central tomorrow night. It's already scheduled, loaded on eBay, on the eBay Live. Max says, schedule everything pop-up, probably not smart. It's not going to be pop-up. I mean, if anything, it's going to be like 24-hour notice, which is enough notice in this day and age. It's not going to be like, surprise! I'm not going to tell you. It'll be advertised in advance. Mikey says, can you go live today afternoon? Probably not. Probably not this afternoon. I want to get a bunch of shipping done, so I'm not worrying about that later this week. Max says, anybody could always be doing something more productive. Stop. Like driving around. You stop. You stop. Cruising around town for an hour or listening to me for an hour. I mean, it's both a waste of time. It's both a waste of time. All right. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Visit my eBay store, 99centcards.com. Buy it now section loaded. Over 100,000 cards. Buy 7 or more at regular price. You'll save 25% off at checkout. eBay Live tomorrow night for Tuesday night hoops. It's all basketball tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Central. And then we're looking for a daytime stream either tomorrow or Wednesday at 10 a.m. Central. So depending on how much shipping I tackle today and what my schedule is like, I think I should be able to do a Tuesday stream tomorrow morning, but I'll let you know by this afternoon. Mikey says, what else do I have to do on my day off than doing Bo card shopping? Go take a drive. Yeah, you could. You could buy cards from my sale or take a drive or listen to my YouTube channel. Talk about nothing. All right. That's all for today. Have a great Monday. See you tomorrow morning.